So thank you very much for being here again. I think we need to change the slide if we're on the slide. Thank you. It's you know as well as I do that in the international world of finance ministers and central bank governors, sometimes the central bank governor and the finance minister are not, are pulling in different directions, but it seems very much from what His Excellency was saying there's a consistent, coherent approach, which speaks wonders for Jordan. When we were here last year, you did in my experience, the unique thing of disagreeing with the IMF's growth forecast, but not in the way that the finance minister normally does, by saying they don't know anything, but we have to grow 4 times as well. But actually being more realistic and saying no, we'll grow 4 times like that. And you were right, and they weren't. But it's a marginal thing. We talked about the 2% number. I'm less fixated with headline growth than I used to be, but we can talk about that, but where do you see 2017 in terms of the growth rate of Jordan, and indeed a little bit further out? How would you look at 2018, 2019? Give us your feeling of the macro background.
Thank you very much. First of all, 2016 was difficult, and mostly caused by exogenous shocks, so it wasn't something an internal issue more than an external issue. Forecast for economic growth or real growth for 2016 by the IMF was 2.8%, but it was revised down to almost 2%. So the final figures are not out, but they're happy with the 2% that we initially said we should be very happy if we achieved the 2%.
So you did, so you're very happy?
Yeah. You see, 2% is not bad.
I'm with you on that.
But it's not good enough for a country like Jordan with a young population and with, we have a lot of entrance into the labor market. And I'll talk about that later on. But we need a growth of double the natural population growth in order for the economy to make available enough jobs to take the participants.
Sure.
2017 is not an easy year as well. It did start at a very positive note, and I think still 2017 is going to be difficult. I don't think economic growth is going to be more than 2.2. The governor said 2.4 or 2.5, so it's not really, we're not going to argue a 5 or 10 basis points differential, but it tells you a story that we need an engine for growth which is not readily available now. The government is doing a number of initiatives, and again the governor spoke about some of the initiatives, but there are a number of initiatives that the government is undertaking in order to stimulate growth. Growth comes, or growth stimulation is not led by the government per se. It should be led by the private sector. And there has to be more involvement by the private sector in trying to move the economy forward. Unless you want to stay as a satellite economy. The private sector relies on the public sector, and Jordan, again, I think we discussed that last year, is still a satellite economy to the region, and specifically to the Gulf states. But really, I think a lot of effort should be done by the private sector in order to stimulate growth and stimulate the economy.
I mean, come on to that, but just to touch on you are a private sector person, or you have been a private sector person. The private sector looks at investment opportunities and says, well, I consider this on the basis of, is this opportunity good? What other opportunities do I have? elsewhere. There are a variety of different ways that for the private investor, we'll look at these. The first priority is always, will I preserve my capital? So they would respond, well, it's the government's role to create an environment where I can make those decisions to go to Jordan as opposed to going to an opportunity somewhere else, or just to market in government bonds. Risk-free, allegedly, or as near risk-free as you can get. What's your, take on that? How do you see that cooperation between the public and the private sector? Now you're in the public sector. What should governments do to encourage the private sector?
Yeah, well, the government basically will play the role of an enabler. So we started, for example, actively this year going through the PPP projects and trying to involve the private sector, even government projects, so that the private sector would do a form of a BOT or a BRT style project. BRT stands for build, rent, and transfer. We haven't been, we did the first 3 projects, but unfortunately it wasn't driven by the private sector again, it was driven by the Social Security Investment Fund. They kind of understood exactly the role they need. Because it is an opportunity, it's a good investment opportunity.
And they need that.
And they need that. The last project, for example, that was done on a BRT slash leasing or lease to own project was the customs Newport in Mr Omar. I think it was a successful transaction, that's one. 2, the concept, I think it helps in developing the areas that needs economic development. So it's I think the largest project so far this year done by the government. And we need multiple projects like this. We need to engage the private sector in government projects like hospitals, schools, and other.
It's a tricky. PPP, in its broadest sense, it's always a tricky thing because the private sector investors want cash flow. They want secure or predictable cash flows. That's essentially what the point of the whole thing is. Whether they're a pension fund or a private equity company or something, that's what they want. And when you have an airport or a port or a toll road or even a power station, you can get those off-take agreements, you can get those contracts, and you can evaluate the risk and the viability of the project. But once you start going further down into schools and hospitals, globally, it's not been a particularly successful area. We're seeing problems in our social care system in the UK where the private sector is basically pulling out because it can't make any money. How do you feel that Jordan can address that? It's a more complicated thing.
True, but it all depends on what kind of project we're talking about, and the terms and conditions pertaining to that project. So we did it in a very simple way, rather than overcomplicating things. And then, for example, if we're talking about a hospital, rather than getting the private sector to manage the hospital and then we pay them per patient or whatever, this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about straightforward, plain vanilla lease-to-own transaction. So, let's say we want to build a hospital in area X. The actual ownership of land is moved to whoever is doing the financing. And then you engage in a contract, lease-to-own contract. And the government needs that project. So the government is running the hospital, for example, like any other hospital. It all depends then what kind of conditions are in the contract. Who's going to do the maintenance, for example? Because we're trying to engage the private sector in doing a 10-year maintenance program for the project itself. And we're trying to make it a 10 to 12 year payment term so that it's easier to get financing rather than a 20 or 25 or 30 year project. Plus, I'm not talking about mega projects here. We well know that PPP, the well-known PPP projects around the world are mega projects. We have a mega project here, which is the airport. That's close to $1 billion worth of investment. This is not really what I'm talking about here. We're talking about smaller projects that can add value to the economy. It can help kickstart the movement of economic growth. So we need multiple programs here and there, and that should all help, because if we're talking about construction, and we all know that construction does fuel the engine of growth, because it has a lot of spillover effect to other sectors and subsectors. And we still need hospitals. We still need a lot of schools, and we still need a lot of government utility buildings. That the private sector can help out in building and then transferring to the government. That will alleviate the pressure even on the budget, because we will have to allocate less money for capital expenditure or keep that same amount. But rather than, for example, doing 10 projects, you do 20 or 30 or 40. So you move the economy.
The basic model is, I come along, I build a school, and then I lease it to you, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's straightforward, but it's not complicated.
That's fantastic. Plain vanilla is the thing, especially in infrastructure, because the complexity kills almost every deal, as you said, once you get into it. That's what stops it. The basic concept. We'll probably come back to that, but I do want to just go back into the macro world. We sort of went a little bit off into the investment area, which is of personal interest to me, and I apologise for that. But structural changes within the economy. Before we look at subsidies and the income side of the balance sheet, which is very important, just in terms of the IMF and the relationship with the multilaterals. Where are you now with that? What do you see as the main goals for that type of thing in 2017? And do you see any changes? Do you see what's going on in the US and to some extent in Europe making a difference to the behaviour of multilaterals?
Well, the program where we engaged the IMF with is called EFF, the Extended Fund Facility. And it has two main components. It has a fiscal adjustment and structure. And the bigger part is the structure, because the fiscal could have been done through an SBA or standby arrangement. On the fiscal side, there are a number of targets that we needed to meet, and we did for 2016. On 2017, we were about a month late implementing the agreed on measures. The measures were a blend of good quality measures that will continue over time, and others were direct shots, where you raise fuel prices by X, like by 2 cents or 3 cents a liter or something. I tend more to go for a reform with high quality measures rather than one-shot measures, even though the immediate impact or the short-term impact is basically the same. You're getting the same amount from both decisions, but over time, that this is static and this is a percentage and it moves with the economy. So you continue improving your stream of revenue or government revenue without additional measures that you need to take if you stick to one-off measures. The fund were here last week to revisit the macroeconomic framework, having the economic growth not achieving the initial target, and the regional conflict is still where it is, and there is no movement really there. The borders with Iraq are still closed, and that is impacting both trade and industry here in Jordan. So they came to revisit their macroeconomic framework without impacting the fiscal requirements. So that is assuring. We're going to continue next month the discussions in DC in order to finalize the first review, because the first review report has to come out. So we expect to conclude the first review requirements by May at latest. This is on the fiscal side.
Yes.
Shall I continue? Or
yes.
On the...
I'm just going to ask you, what about the other side? So, please.
What's happening now? We're reading your mind because the governor kind of answered questions that you're about to ask, and
it's called logic, I think, but and it means I don't have to do it, which I really like.
The other part really revolves around legal issues that certain laws need to be either enacted or introduced, like the inspection law, and that should help businesses. The income tax law, it has to do a lot with tax collection and the way we collect tax, because we need to improve tax collection, especially income tax collection. Other regulations related to allowing part-time work out of homes, so that you can license that, because today under the city ordinance you cannot license work out of your home. It has to be done in the workplace. Now, if we want to encourage more youth and more women into the workforce, we need to allow that to happen. On top of that, of course, talking about creating more job opportunities, I think the central bank has worked on a number of finance initiatives through various funds to help out startups, to help out small businesses. At the same time, the Ministry of the Investment Commission has introduced what we call production branches for factories. So factories, let's say in the Amman area, they were given incentives to open in remote areas in order to bring in economic development and make available opportunities, of course, against tax incentives. And that's a good thing, even though I like to minimize incentives, financial incentives as much as possible.
Well, of course.
Yeah. But these areas really need development, and by opening up a branch of a factory in one of those areas that need development, I think has a big role on social safety net, that they're paying salaries there, they're making work opportunities. That would alleviate the pressure on the government to do something.
It takes a little bit more time to filter through.
Sure.
We did a poll before the conference asking what private sector investors want from the state. I don't have the underlying data, so I don't know how accurate it is. But 75% said they wanted fewer obstructions to doing business. You touched on that in terms of the structural reforms, which is things like licensing people from their own to work from their homes. Do you feel that the government understands that one of the key structural reforms is actually to do less in a funny sort of way, to deregulate, to enable, if you want SMEs to grow, make it easy for them to start, make it easy for them to do. Is that involved in the structural program, or is that something different?
No, it does involve that structural program. And under the doing business initiatives, or ease of doing business initiatives, that is something we keep monitoring. And I agree with you, probably over time we have too much government involved. But, this is an inheritance that we have in front of us. We have to deal with the ramifications of that inheritance, but at the same time, we have to gradually start removing too much government intervention, and that is happening really in enabling business, for example. Today we're looking at increasing for example, businesses will need to get an annual license to do business. So why do it every year? Why don't you do a 3-year or a 5-year license? There are certain procedures that the government can re-engineer that can help the business environment altogether. So that's really a very important aspect to touch on. And yes, I do agree with you. There has to be less government.
Well, maybe less. I mean, I think I sound a little bit too libertarian. What I meant was there are certain areas where the government can go back, and there are other areas where it needs to get more involved. It's more of a rebalancing than a removal. We've got about 10 minutes. I'm going to use the S word now. I love using this word on the stage in every country that I go to. Subsidies. It's a tremendously hot political topic, but it is necessary to enact reforms for continued fiscal sustainability of the country. Where are you with that? Do you see that you achieved a lot? Do you want to do more? Is it a question not of removing them, but changing the ways? Talk to subsidies for a couple of minutes.
Well, the only actual subsidy the government still has to go through is bread. All other subsidies were removed, direct subsidies were removed over time. We have cross-subsidy in electricity prices, but again, as part of the IMF program, is to minimize the cross-subsidy and link electricity prices to changes in oil prices, oil and gas prices. And that's something we did and implemented as of the beginning of this year. The other thing that we have, rather than direct subsidy, is called exemptions. We have a lot of exemptions in customs and in sales tax. So if you look at the sales tax regime in Jordan, sales tax is supposed to be 16%. But if you look at the effective sales tax, it's just shy or just below 7%. So this means, as we call it in the finance world, a lot of tax expenditure, which we quantified, by the way, and published. And that is, the tax expenditure is about 12% of GDP, so that's a big figure.
That's a big figure.
Yeah. But, the devil is in the details, so you have to start looking down at each and every item there. But as part of the IMF program, it is the gradual removal of exemptions, and we started for 2017 in the fiscal program. We removed exemptions for a number of goods. However, we maintained the exemptions on most of the food items. But that is a big, we eat a lot, my friend, so that is a big item in our expenditure. And the industrial input and agricultural. As you well know, we have a lot of stimulus packages for agriculture and the agricultural sector in terms of they're not taxed whatsoever on anything. Their water is subsidized. Whatever they buy is basically at lower cost or at no tax or rustic duty. Yet that sector's input into the GDP is hardly 3%. So that is yet in the future another reform that we have to look at, because the agricultural sector has to be stimulated, it has to start contributing in a bigger manner to our
We have time for two more questions. The first one, which is a question that we could have a whole day conference on, so I'd like to you to answer it in about 90 seconds. Unemployment. I talked about it, the government talked about it, we'll talk about it during the course of the day. You know, it's the big thing, it's the big, consistent, chronic challenge, and every time we move towards it, the population grows, not just from youth, but also from displaced people from the region. What's the role of the Ministry of Finance, particularly, in tackling that? Do you feel that that's a primary responsibility, and what initiatives do you take on that?
This is a responsibility of the government, I say, and not the Ministry of Finance. Yeah. Our role and responsibilities are complementary to what the overall or the macro level role of the government. But let me talk about the government's role.
Please.
You know, we got the level of unemployment is relatively high. We're over 15% now, which is not a comfortable level. So a number of initiatives need to be done in order to stimulate growth, because I think it all boils down to economic growth. If we can kickstart economic growth to a level, as I previously mentioned, that is in line with the population growth, in order to be able to create enough jobs. I mean, not completely to get everybody employed, but to put in more people into the system. The government is not an employer of the last resort. This is it. Government has frozen big-time employment for the last 3 or 4 years. We're only more or less replacing those who retire. But and already the public sector is inflated. I think we have more people in the system that is needed. So the government is not the entity that will employ. Again, I shift to the private sector. That's where the job creation has to happen. Of course, the government's role as an enabler to economic growth should help out in that issue.
My final question is about risk. I mean, Jordan's had, well, the world economy, the region, Jordan, we've all had a pretty bumpy ride over the past 3 or 4 years. Where do you, I mean, is the bad news in the price, as it were? I mean, the region has been about as unstable as it's possible to be. 2 of your 4 neighbours had really significant conflict. You're in the epicenter of that. You have the flows of people, the gold prices have been up, they've been down, all sorts of things. Looking forward, do you see that the region might enter a period of relative stability, and that the issues that are driving, driven the problems in the past few years will calm down, and that could be a net positive for you?
Well, to start with, the regional conflict, especially in Syria and Iraq, has impacted our economy in a big way. One, historically, Syria was a transit trading route to our products and manufacturing products. Iraq was importing almost 20% of our production and was using our port, Aqaba port, as, again, transit trade route. So a lot of, if we want to call individuals and small businesses and owners of trucks and what have you, are all working. There are almost 15,000 or 16,000 trucks in Jordan. They're all owned by either individuals or group of individuals, hardly any big companies. And all those who are working. Today, 4,000 out of the 16,000 are working. So the spillover effect of Syria, the Syrian conflict, and the Iraqi conflict has really hurt the economy. And to add to that, which we haven't mentioned, but the SRC, or the Syrian refugee crisis, it has caused economic growth to reduced by 1% per year, and this is a study, a very recent study done by the IMF. So 2012, 13, 14, and 15, rather than grow, we grew at 2.5%, it should have been 3.5%. And if you dollarize that amount, we're talking about $2.5 billion of lost opportunities or lost revenue in the economy because of the Syrian refugee crisis. Aside from the pressure they're putting on our infrastructure, our water, we're one of the fifth or five poorest countries in the world in water resources. Yeah. So it's, we don't know where to get the punches. We're getting punches from everywhere. But I always say, with the right country, the wrong neighborhood, we have to always look at the positive side of life, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, I mean, I want to echo that and say that it's rocky. Well, Sylvester Stone very often said it's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit. And as you said, Jordan keeps on getting hit, but you're still here, still growing. The basis is functioning. Now, there are problems, challenges, there are those that are making those are not here. But that resilience is nothing short of remarkable. And it's not appreciated, in my opinion, by enough people, because so many other countries, the whole thing. So hats off to you, to your team, and to the people. That's my personal opinion. So I think a better applause for the Minister.